draw, we chat, it's a wonderland. Colors collide, imagination so grand. Travel, draw, and let's take a stand. Thoughts come alive, flowing through the pen. With every stroke, we create, we mend. The conversations plan. A bond we defend, dream on, draw us to it again. And beyond we share as we draw, we connect the love affair. Sketching dreams without a keep it
And we are live! I don't find my mouse not working. Hello! Wake up! Wake up! Celebrate! Celebrate! I don't know why we're not working. What glitch in this is? I know. Alright! This is gonna be a subject tonight. It wasn't planned. And, well, whenever we hit a serious subject,
The voice goes away. Hello! Those who have not heard me without the voice changer. And yeah, we may not have the voice changer for too much longer because it's not working. I am going to flip over to drawing. You do see the first part of this topic. But I'm gonna try and get VTubing working again. I don't know why it stopped. It was working earlier. But tonight we will be talking about the hatred spewed at Ironmouse and all VTubers. And as a VTuber, I have to talk about it as well. I'm not going to talk about it on my end because honestly, I've got more hate for other reasons than hate for being a VTuber. I don't even think I got any hate for being a VTuber, honestly. Why is VTube Maker being a complete mess? It was working literally 5 minutes ago. Hello! Hello! Alright. Hell. VTube Maker! Fix it! Fix your stuff! No! Alright. Come on. Close. Alright. Open! Alright, we're going to be doing some pages of Withc'n today, as well as talking about this subject. Really? What the hell? It's not our system. I assure you, we have a very powerful system these days. I don't know what's going on with VTuber. Alright, we're gonna have to do it this way. We're gonna have to do it this way. I don't know why it's crashing. What the hell? It was literally working before it came on stream. Ah, wonderful. Oh. I don't have a backup at the moment. What we'll do is make a backup. Add a source. Wait. Did it go back up? Well, not exactly working. Alright, hold on. Let me... Okay. Goes there, so that one. Plug that back in. The camera working. Here's my camera. But yeah, we're having to talk about this subject because it is an issue. And the irony is a lot of people want to talk about just... and be like, it's just the hate on VTubers, which I do understand. I do understand the hate on VTubers. We're working now, so we can bring it up. Hi! So, yeah, a few days ago, literally Saturday, when I was doing prep for Saturday night stream, Dog VA, who I follow, and I follow Ironmouse as well, but Dog came out with this, and I was like, oh, it's just another, one of those clip-baity titles that their fans put out that, connected with them between Ironmouse and Connor, and I mean, they're great friends to each other, and it shows. But then Connor was addressing the camera in a way, if you're a fan, then no, he doesn't do that. He doesn't address you like that. And Connor's not a drama tube channel. In fact, I literally just watched Nuxtaku's take on this whole situation, and he knows them both from past experience, but I mean, he's also a huge troll, and that's why I like him. But yeah, when he brought in the subject, he's like, oh, we need to talk about this, the hate being launched at Ironmouse. And a lot of it is, a lot of people want to blame it on Kai Sinai. I'm not going to blame it on Kai. Kai did the right thing. His fans, yeah, but it's not just his fans, it's other people. A lot of people give hate, because that's just what they want to do. I mean, I hate to say it, there's always going to be hate in this world, and we have to learn to accept that in this world. That we're never promised rainbows and sunshines. We aren't in life. We need to be honest with ourselves that people are going to hate us for the stupidest of reasons. They really are. And we're going to hate people for the stupidest of reasons. But the hate that people put out there that literally are threatening Ironmouse, threatening Vtuber, and the reason I wanted to do this stream is because this is not new. I'm going to put out 2 other individuals going through this sort of the same thing. Why am I echoing? Am I freaking coming through 2 video ones? Or is it just my head? It's just my head. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna give 2 other examples. One from earlier this year, and one that's current, that you may not have thought. And that one's not gonna involve a VTuber. That one's gonna involve someone in the public eye. And I'm not gonna... It's gonna get a little along the politic line, but it's not Trump. I'm not saying it's Trump. It's gonna be somebody else. But the hatred for someone else's success is the whole title of this stream. I never understand why someone has to hate on someone else's success, but we do. A lot of people be like, oh, I don't like them because their morals, their story, how they act. That's fine. But to make crap up, especially in Ironmouse's case, where, I mean, the girl, there's a reason she's at top. And I know she just got nominated for another streamer award or something. I don't know what, but I saw it today while I was on Twitter. And she deserves it. I mean, the girl, for someone who is bedridden, I mean, we need to address that. She is bedridden. She is just now, with the helps of her meds, being able to get out of bed. Yet she creates joy and happiness in a way that's infectious. Honestly, I don't think most VTubers would exist if it weren't for Mouse. She is a joy to watch. And it's because she doesn't let life kick her down. She may go and cry off stream, but she's a great example of someone who doesn't let life get her down when she has every right to be that way. And people hate her for that. And it's dumb. Why hate someone for them being successful, for them being a good point of happiness and joy? On the internet, we have so much hate, so much vitriol, so much violence in our lives that enjoy joy. We can't enjoy fun. And it's sad. It really is. When you sit here and hear people, I can't even say some of the things that the fans have been saying. Or I don't even want to call them fans. I know they're supposedly Kai Cenai's fan. Kai, they're not your fans. They're just vitriol that like you. That's it. And I won't say that Mouse doesn't have the same. I won't say that Connor doesn't have the same. I know Nux has the same. And I'm a huge... I'm a supporter of Nux. I'm a Patreon supporter. So, I have no... And I was a Patreon supporter of Connor for a while. The only reason I stopped was because I was too broke and I hadn't done it again. But, I mean, the fact that we are so shallow in our lives that we want to bring hate to someone's success. Kai is a great streamer. I've not watched him. I'm not a fan of his programs because I've not watched him. I have no idea what he even makes content-wise. I'm sure it's gaming. It might be sports. I don't know. I have no clue. But I don't hate him because I don't know him. I can hate on his fans because it's clear. Well, I don't even call. I can hate him on the vitriol fans. And how much they put a black mark. I can't even do dark mark. It's kind of touchy subjects doing that. Hatred, just spreading out hatred for no other reason than just to be evil or because you don't like something. I mean, there's lots of things I don't like. I'm allergic to all seafood. I don't like it. I don't like the smell. But I don't go to freaking Red Lobster and hate on them. Who would? I mean, the fact, and I mean, I can use some examples in my own life, and I'm getting kind of hatred myself right now, but it's not, like I said, it's not the VTubing, it's not even me being trans, I stopped, and I officially announced, stop doing a comic on DeviantArt, that was well beloved, and people are hating on me for stopping that. And the main reason the number one reason I put up there that I stopped was the sponsor who suggested the comic and is telling me what the comic does. Stop telling me. So I don't even know where the comic would go, and I'm far too busy to create a comic again. I mean, literally taking on 2 comics a week, on top of doing some monthly stuff that's coming down the line. And we do the streaming, and I work a 40-hour-a-week day job. I don't have time to do all that work. And to have people literally tell me, well, I'm not subscribing anymore. Okay, you were only subscribed to me for what? A comic I released maybe 1 page every 4 months. That wasn't that good, to be honest. If you're a fan because of that, and only that, then you're shallow. And it's the same situation here with Kai and Ironmouse. If you're just a fan with Kai to spread the hate on somebody who competes with him and the popularity, then are you really a fan of Kai? Or are you just there because you want the toxic environment? And I don't like using terms like toxic masculinity or, phobes stuff. I'm very much against those terms. I much prefer, find positivity. I understand, yes, you can give criticism, but there's a difference between criticism and telling someone to kill themselves, okay? And it's just really upsetting. See, and I mean, I can say this as a very old YouTuber. It's not that I started as I'm age-wise an older YouTuber. I come from the generation you have forgotten. X generation. So, I mean, the fact of the matter is, there's too much hate in the world. Why are we putting in more? And hating people for stupid things. Connor was very right in his video. He was very dead on. He had few things that I was like, but he was right. He was right in his video. I have a feeling Mouse wasn't responding in the video, or hasn't done a public response. I've not seen a response from her. I think I've heard Kai did respond, and I mean, Kai's doing what he needs to. He's the top Twitch streamer right now. And there will be a day when Kai is no longer the top, when Ironmouse is no longer the top, when Connor is no longer that big of a... They are people, and people's lives change. And that's the key. I mean, we need to remember that we are people in the end. Yeah, I use a model, I use a voice changer in my streams. Because I feel that's better the way. I can do much higher in the pitch tone. But it kills my throat. Okay? It kills my throat. It really does. But, I mean, and I've sat here and debated, should I keep doing the voice changer? It started out when we started streaming, gosh, 3 years ago at this point? But we've had on and off periods, mainly because of personal stuff in my life. And I've come back and forth. I've never gone away. I've never I mean, that's the other thing. A lot of people that have gone through and told me they aren't going to follow me because of this comic or that comic's ending. a lot of it is, I could flat out erase those comics right now. Remove them, they'd never be there anymore. I don't. Because I live with my mistakes. I live with the scars. And it's very much the real reason why I make scars important in Demon Blade's story. Because they're the reminders of our past and how we can improve ourselves from our past is we wear the damage we've done. I don't erase old videos. Hell, the first few streaming videos we have, you can check it out on the channel. First few, completely mute, no sound whatsoever. Now I'm doubling and echoing, and that's probably something I'm not working on. Probably because I'm not talking to the mic directly. I'm probably getting the actual echo of my room. So, yeah. So, I mean, if you're watching this, you watch me regularly. Hell, if you're just watching now, you prefer this voice? Or would you rather me have... Pull it up.
This voice that we use. So,
It's up to you. It really is. I don't care. I mean, I'm a trans person. I live my life as I see fit. I have issues with how I am and how I live, and I try to improve it. I mean, as of lately, I am very self-detrimental about my weight. Rightfully so. I am overweight. I have no objection there. I need to go out and exercise. I should have done it before the stream, but I had a lot to get done. So I didn't really get a chance to go out and do my walk. But I've been doing a walk daily, and I've been using an incentive. In this case, in the past it's worked, but it was the incentive was food. And now I'm well past the metabolic stage where my body doesn't burn as much. So now my incentive is literally One Piece packs. I have a bunch of One Piece boxes. I will pull one One Piece trading card game pack from every time I go out and walk. And walk several miles. That's the only way I can incentivize and make myself be like, hey, I really need to get this walk in. It helps me. It's something I can do. Other people, I mean, it's up to them. But the hate given towards VTubers, it's disgusting. But it's not, again, it's not just VTubers. It's all other kinds of hate for success, which is why I titled this The Hatred of Success. Because there's a hatred out there for people who are successful in what they do. And I'm not going to even use me as an example of success. I've been a huge mess of failure. But I mean, one of the people I live by, their build to success. Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders was not a successful man until he was in his 60s to 50s, somewhere around there. The man tried to get restaurants off for years and continued to fail time after time after time. The man, in all rights, was an utter failure most of his life. But he succeeded once. And that once is the only reason he needed to succeed. However, I will say, the current KFC, here in America, I don't know what you're doing, but you're failing the Colonel. You're failing the Colonel. I haven't tried it in several years, and I technically can't eat it these days. You guys keep seeing also a page of, what is it? Magical Princess War. Because I premiered it on Saturday's stream. Then I'm going to start doing about a monthly release of that. Mainly so I can get further in that series. We just need to find... That's not even really fine. We need to learn to keep our mouths shut. I think that's a good... Back when I was growing up, a punishment for your child was very regular. And this weekend, when I was in Target, there was a mother struggling to keep her child in line. I was like, well, gee, when I was growing up, my parents would stand my high. Yeah. And the kid just kept screaming and being a mess. And I saw him later out in the parking lot, and Mom's still chastising him. It was about like 15 minutes later, and it's like, yeah. It's called behaving yourself. It's called manners. And sadly, in this day of social media, we don't really care about manners. We don't really care about being civil. We care about what's in it for us. And that's the mindset that gets us this hatred of success. Because in the end, we get jealousy. And everybody's jealous of something. I'm trans. I'm jealous of how some people look. Being like, well, why the hell can't I have that to look? Or to look like that? And most of the reason is because I'm lazy. Because I'm fat. Because I eat crappy food. I try to do better, but it is my fault in the end. And far too many people these days don't want to admit that they're at fault for some of their own actions. And that's sad. That really is. But yeah, we're kind of going to be touching more on this as a serious subject. So, let's start. It's past... Well, it's about time, so let's go over this talk. And we're going to go over, essentially, the initial article. So, we're using Dextro.com on this one. I'm not familiar with them. CDog VA defends Ironmouse claims that VTubers get discriminated against. Yes. So, in the wake of Ironmouse getting harassed after breaking Kai Cenat's Twitch sub record, which was months ago. Alright. So, and since Kai broke it again, and it's taken it over from her, and it kind of started not even with this, it started with the winning of the award last year, and people hating on her because she won the award, and she's up for another award, so the hatred's coming back. But yeah, there is a larger hate for VTubers, and the people do the VTuber model for a couple reasons, but as Connor Star says, most of the time it's an anonymity. That's not the case for me. I've been on camera. I've done the voice even while on camera. I'm not afraid to say who I am and what I am. I mean, hell, that's the reason why we started our YouTube channel, was be like, hey, I do comics. If you don't know me, here's my work. So, I mean, that's what this is here for. That's why I do this. But I do a camera. Yeah. I mean, hell, let's see here. I'll pull it on up right here. I don't know how I look at the moment. I look stupid. I'm wearing a animal costume. Yes. I'm fat. I'm overweight. My hair's pulled back right now. and I'm balding. I mean, not good for a trans person, but hey, I spend my days doing things and trying to work on improving myself. Do I need people to tell me, oh, hey, this is who you are? This is... I mean, there's a lot of trans hate, but at the same time, some of it's justified, honestly. I don't agree with a lot of the things the trans community has been going on about. No. But yeah, he mentions the fans of Kai Sinai, and as we said, I mean, we've pretty much covered this. So, one of the people I wanted to kind of bring up and state why this is hatred. I want to make sure I'm doing it right. Another person who went through this, but it's slightly different. They went through it because they were getting hate from their company, and their company promoted other people who hate them for being there. And since they got away from there, they became successful, but there was still hate towards that character. And of course, I'm talking about the Doki Bird situation from Niji Sanji English. The subject is similar. It really is. And unfortunately, in Doki's situation, it got to hospitalization. And I feel that some of the trans hatred, or not the VTuber hatred out there towards VTubers, I know there are VTubers that probably have been brought to the dark points in their life. I've been brought to the dark points in my life. Doki has gone through that. I can't say that's the same for Mouse, but I wouldn't doubt that she's been through that. I know she's been through that when she got diagnosed with her health issues. But she's not let that get her down and bring her down to that level. But Doki had to fight for herself. She had to become who she is and become successful. Despite the hate, despite the negativity from her own company that did it to her. And I mean, I support her now. I'm not a sponsor, but I am a follower. And I feel she's been very successful. I think she's up for a reward this year. I could be wrong, but I believe she's up for a reward. Against Mouse, ironically. But both of them are success stories, and both of them have their own issues to deal with. But adding negativity, I mean, I could show you another negativity, but I'd have to move here. Hold on, let's see if I can pull it up on the side. Well, no. Yeah. Nikocado Avocado's right on the other side here. Talking about someone who was on hatred and all that stuff. Don't want to get into Nikocado Avocado because I don't know much about the Nikocado Avocado issues. So I really can't speak from that. I know he had advantage of having Ozempic, which for me is not possible because my own health issues. It's problematic dealing with those kind of situations. And we're going to touch upon another individual who has a lot of hate towards them for odd reasons, but mainly for their success. They're a very successful individual in the world, and they get hate for them succeeding. I don't understand it. And we're going to talk about a therapist that really gave horrible advice to the world after, well, I mean, this was actually before the election, but after the election. no matter which side you choose on, hey, I don't care. Be a good person. I mean, we constantly talk and end their streams here on Dribble Draw telling you, be the better person. It doesn't mean go out and be the better person of someone else. It means be the better person of yourself. Clearly, the people spreading the hate with Ironmouse are not being the better people of themselves. They're just being vitriol. They're the same people who go out there and hate on people for no other reason to hate on people. And some of them probably revel in that. I mean, there are people who just want to watch the world burn. And he definitely has some fans that are that way. But I mean, like I said, I don't doubt that Mouse might have somebody that way, that Connor might have somebody that way. That I know, like I said, I know Nux has vitriol fans. But I mean, hey, the vitriol to stop, but it's not gonna stop. I wish it would. Ways to not be vitriolic. Find an outlet. Honestly. Bookie Boo. Hey, how's it going? Joining into a session without the voice. Bookie Boo, because you're regularly on here. Would you prefer the voice or prefer the raw? Da, 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 da. Of course, I'm very tired. I could do higher pitches. But I get up at freaking 6 a.m. every day, go to work, and we do these streams at 8 p.m. By that point, my voice is cracking. Good, how are you? I'm doing fine. Doing fine. I mean, tomorrow's the last day I have to go to work this week. Because of the holiday here in the US. And I only have to be there for half a day, and they're feeding us breakfast. I don't know what they're feeding, and I'm probably not going to be able to eat it, but yeah. Always like, oh, voice today, cool. Oh, no voice today, good, cool. Yeah, I mean, it's I've always kind of debated since I started doing the voice thing, and I've tried to upgrade it, and I have a full-on soundboard. We've ripped out the soundboard because it was having issues technical-wise, and I haven't gone back to it to fix that, to help clean up stuff. I'm using, once again, in this case, I'm using the digital soundboard built into Streamlabs to clean up the audio a bit. The echoes simply me staying away from the microphone while I focus on trying to draw. And I don't even know if I can use... Well, I could use a little bit of this. So, let me explain the scene I'm drawing here in Withc'n. So, those who don't know, Withc'n is one of my weekly comics, webcomics. This one is not published paper-wise like we do with Demon Blade. This has been a built-up scene. So, Withc'n, the overall theme is we have a main character who is a wizard / warlock. I haven't really decided the proper termage to use in this series. But is a male magic user who wants to go to college. His father won't allow him to go to human college to learn new magic. And the concept is not, oh, well, the humans don't, or no magic. It's kind of taking our world and a magic world that live together. They don't live together in harmony. There's a lot of vitriol and hatred, particularly at the magic users in this world. And so the character decides, oh, I'm going to go disguised as a young woman, and I'm going to use the name of a prominent magic family to get me in. Thinking, oh, well, they're a huge family. They'll never really be able to trace me down, and I'm not going to ask anything from them. Well, this chapter, the family knows. Well, sort of. They know who this individual, in this case, the comic, the individual is called Ida by female names and is generally dressed as Ida, even though their original name is Theodore. So Ida here has been called back to the family because the element that she wasn't expecting was that the Wansdales, which is the name she went by to get into college, they've not had a very successful crop of mages in the life or in the family line. And so we have the elderly Gaspardo, or Gaspardovardo. It's a really weird, screwed up name. He's going to be referred to as Gast through much of the series. But he's the head of the family. He's been the head of the family for 5 centuries. No one knows that he lived this long. He's been around, but he's dirt old, and he's called Ida to come and be in this household because all of a sudden a possible heir has appeared before him, and is using the name in a way he wasn't expecting. So we have Ida being taken to the family household, and this is their meeting. They're having to die. And in the process of writing this chapter, writing this story, I had another individual in the family that I was like, okay, maybe I should do something racially, but not do it in a way that it's, an actual race. So we have one individual here, and he's the individual in the back here, whose name is Armand Wansdale. I think it's like Armand Delevon Wansdale. Full name. He is a dark elf. Well, half dark elf. He's referred to as a outlander race, or an outsider race. Outsider race would be the mixing of bloods between 2 races. And it basically denies him his right to the name of Wansdale, be an inheritor, because he is of dark elf blood. So, I mean, it's a way I wanted to kind of tell some of the concepts of actual hatred and whatnot that goes throughout in this world, and it's a way to expand the world a little bit. We see goblins in the not a golem, what is it, troll and an orc beforehand. Detritus is the only name I remember, which is the troll, and it's a nod to Terry Pratchett, with his character Detritus, which was a troll, and is very much the inspiration of Detritus. But Armand is still, by Gaspardo, used as sort of his second-hand person. But Armand's going to be playing the role of a teacher in Ida's college, as well. And so I have to introduce that stuff like magic. Dark elves are more attuned to magic than humans are, and so forth. They have an advantage to being more skilled. And I know I'm already doing his face wrong. He's supposed to have a longer voice or longer face. But yeah, I mean, very much. Hell, I'll just spoil a bit of the next page, because he's properly introduced to the next page. It just hadn't released yet. Where am I? All right, you see me. All right, because I need to use the reference. So, yeah, there we go. So you see how long his face is, how he's designed. Keep going to the Withc'n, but yeah, I need to rework his face a bit. He's supposed to be very much long-faced. Because I wanted elves to have a little more distinct look, and being a dark elf, I don't know if I'll introduce other species of elves. They'll probably show up. I just don't know when. I don't plan much with them. Because most of the story is supposed to be about Ida and their sort of accepting themselves and trying to find commonality in the world and purpose in the world. It's very much Ida is doing something that witches and wizards really haven't done in the past, which is say, okay, here's this other race of people like us, and we learn from them. And it's always been sort of this hierarchy. No. Our kind don't learn from them. They don't learn from us. We keep ourselves separate. Even though the barriers have been breaking for years, we keep ourselves separate. And it's very much to state, hey, what separates us is the walls that we put in between ourselves. There's nothing blocking us from being who we can be, other than what we say we can't be. And it's not like, oh, I'll use the trans concept. I mean, I'm never going to be a biological woman. I know that. I've been trans for several years. I'm never going to be a biological woman. The science is not there. Will there be at some point? Maybe. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. I've read a lot of medical papers over the years, and I've learned from that. I wrote about a novel called 11 Kingdoms back in 2013 about Neuralink by name. I made it the subject of the novel. And such is the case. I know I'm screwing up his eyes because he's supposed to be all black in his eyes. I'll just go ahead and do all black, and then we'll add the green later. Yeah, I mean, that's the issue. Powers. How do folks get power school? It's a matter of magic. You inherit it through bloodline. Or you have an sort of connection. I haven't fully, ironically, I started this without even going fully into details of the magic system. Which is Not a good way to write. Not a good way to write. I will say that much. It's not a good thing to do. Plan out your world a little bit better than I do. I'm flying by the seat of my pants in this one. Although I'm using some of the same elements I already had designed for Demon Blade and other series. Whereas everybody has sort of an attunement naturally to an element in some magic, and some people are good at some things. I mean, it's like talent. Some people are good at one thing versus being horrible at another. Ida's example is they're not good at precognition, yet their mother is like the most well-known precog in the world that I've created. So I mean, that's the thing. Let's see. Brown Dwarf, what's doing? Howdy. What's doing? Spooky Boo F-Geck. Howdy. Yes. So I mean, we need to sort of, when you plan something out, figure out your world a little bit better. I don't know where I put that here. I'm trying to find it right now. I probably put it on the where is this thing? There it is. Okay. I'm gonna cut it. Oh no, I'll deal with that later. All right. But yeah, when you figure out your world, you gotta do some thinking, do some world building, a little bit. World building in a comic, in a story, essentially. Demon Blade, I have it that there is a separation of magical veils from our society. That the world is actually, the best way to describe it is, you have a piece of paper with an image on it, and you fold it with little creases where you can still make out the image, but there's a little bit of a world you don't, or part of that image you don't see. That's the magic veil. And it's the same in this world. There's an area where the veil of the world is different, and that's where most magical creatures through humanity appear. And the difference in this and versus Demon Blade in that comic is the knowledge of that world. People in Witch'en know of that, they accept it, but at the same time, stuff like the witch trials have always existed and justly are looked upon like the Holocaust. You kind of, genocidally attacked a race of people. And I mean, it's more of a modern age, takes on the tale. Well, I mean, both of them are modern age. Demon Blade's modern age. But in the concept of Demon Blade, that veil's starting to break. So people are learning about magic, and it's kind of freaking people out a little bit. And the other thing is, in Demon Blade, it's much a darker story tone. There's a little bit of darkness in story-wise with Witch'en, but it's mainly comedy. Absurdities, comedies, and all that kind of stuff. Knowing how to do a reaction is the key to a lot of the jokes. You have characters that love magic in this world that are not magic users, and magic users that don't love magic, and so on. So, worth doing some of that sometimes. Yeah. Hey, welcome back. So, let's see here. We are almost on. We talked a little bit about the issue of the topic of tonight, where we're Ironmouse, the whole Sea Dog VA video that dropped on Saturday, and well, Saturday our time, Sunday his time. And there's only one main argument I have to have for Connor, being a fan, being a former supporter, and probably a current, a future supporter in a sense. Connor, why didn't you talk about being on Babish? Come on. Where's your conversation about you being binging with Babish this past weekend? But no, yeah, I mean, the hatred towards the VTubers, it's not new, it's not going to be old, and it's not going to go away, sadly. I hate to say that. I wish it did, but hate is always going to exist, and there are people that just want to hate on VTubers. I find it ironic that a new study just dropped, like, a few weeks ago, that noted anime, which a lot of VTubers are anime adjacent, that anime is surpassed sports and likeness. Dwarf has 4 magics, big magics. Huh. I've not heard that. Dwarf has a few stories. Okay. I mean, we've been doing comic stories, and the only reason I started Withc'n was because I wanted to start something new that was a little more light. We're getting into some dark points in Demon Blade. I'm seriously in the process of trying to finalize the end of the current arc in Demon Blade. Or the finalize the current arc, to be precise. And I'm debating starting the villain's backstory in 12 as well as doing it in 13, or just covering most of it in 12. We're on chapter 10. We're about to go to chapter 11 in Demon Blade. For those who don't know where we're at in that story. But bow leg, and I don't want to give him a bow leg. But yeah, I mean, I'm debating that because I have some elements of the villain I kind of want to come up while they're fighting, but it's a matter of, do I have time to do a flashback and a major fight? But at the same time, I haven't really properly introduced the villain's backstory much, other than what was covered in Chapter 9. And even though Chapter 13 is supposed to be all about the backstory, it's a combination of my and the villain's backstory. My being the secondary lead female role. Because this is very much Mai's backstory arc. A little bit. There's much more to Mai, and I mean, with main characters, you kind of want to have a lot to develop later. And we kind of already covered Tetsu with the bully arc. We've had a little bit of Ino, and we'll have more of both Mai and Ino when they're father comes in, because we've already... most of Demon Blade right now is a remake of the 2013 run. The 2015 run is what we're currently on, and there's no plan on changing that because it takes a long time to draw it. In 2013, I drew 24 chapters monthly. I drew each chapter monthly, not 24 whole chapters monthly, but 24 chapters in a month each, which was for 2 years. Color really sloppily drawn together, and then the site that was hosting them lost it, and then they lost most of the original sized issue pages, and I couldn't quite get them to work without having to resize every page by scratch and redo every page by scratch. And it was like, if I'm going to redo, let me just redraw the whole thing and make it cleaner, make it look nicer. And that's what we got with current Demon Blade. But subject. Get back on the subject. We're kind of drifting away. So, we talked about the hatred of success with Mouse, and a little bit with Doki Bird. Talked about, Sea Dog and Kai Sanai, and I don't blame any of them. I just blame the vitriolic fans, which right now seem to be coming from Kai's fandom. I don't think they're all from Kai's fandom. They're mostly coming from elsewhere, I believe, but they're vitriolic. As I said, there's another person going through the same kind of issue that's not a VTuber. Something to keep my throat. Alright. That person is Elon Musk. A lot of people hate on Elon Musk these days. This man is our Nikola Tesla of this day and age. He has brought us inventions unheard of. Like I said earlier, the Neuralink. That's an Elon Musk project. I knew about it in 2013 because I was reading the scientist studies, or the what they were trying to accomplish, and like at like to say I'm forgetting the namesake of it, but the college in Boston that was doing all that stuff, that does science and all that fun stuff. The man built the first successful electric car, continues to build the most successful, took over Twitter, and most people hate him because of Twitter, which is nonsense. The man has improved Twitter. Problem is because a lot of people see a lot of hate on Twitter, they kind of be like, oh, well, he made Twitter work. No, he didn't. He basically said, hey, we're not going to detriment every person on here and be the judgment of freedom of speech. Or disapprove of compare. Okay. Well, I mean, you can disapprove. I mean, that is the reason. We do this. It's controversial. I expected people to be controversial. Vanity Fair. This is the 2022 Vanity Fair. So this is before the politic mess that's happened in this last election. Saying he's a big jerk and all that. Yeah, he's not a great guy in some sense. He's a horrible guy in some sense. But he's advanced society. He's pushing our space adventures, going off further to learn more in a way that NASA hadn't done in 50 years. Okay? He is the visionary, the Tony Stark that we've needed for years. And a lot of people look at him as a Tony Stark because he's a billionaire that's made of things. But I mean, you get stuff like this from Your Tango. I don't even know who the hell Your Tango is. 16 valid reasons why people love to hate Elon Musk. Okay. Not speak political, dwarf, just speak fact. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You can have your reason. That's fine. It doesn't matter political or anything. Each person can have their own. Considered one of the largest contributors to global wealth gap. Maybe. But he's also a large employer. But he's got to be smart with his money. He once called a rescue driver who saved a Thai schoolboy a pseudo guy. I can disagree with that. Shared what many believe to be misinformation about COVID-19. Any information of COVID-19 in 2020 was misinformation because we don't have the hindsight. So, must not a space NASA do not do. Okay. He's been accused of exposing Tesla workers to COVID-19. He opened up his implant. He wanted to get it up and running. California had the most strict rules on COVID. Musk is believed to be colonizing outer space. Colonizing it from who? I mean, yeah. He's looking to go to Mars, inhabit Mars, and go for... Are we just gonna not go out into space? Ever? Not gonna go further from our planet? I mean, you gotta have a big picture to be able to focus on the small stuff. He once claimed college is a waste of time. He's right. College is a waste of time. I really stand by that these days. I had 4 years of college. I've used that degree maybe 3 years total of my life. And I've been out of college since 2000. So I actually kind of regret going to college. I learned more about art out of college. Musk has been accused of sexual... That's wrong. I don't agree with that concept. Well, I mean, I don't agree with doing that. As a sexual assault victim, I don't agree with misconduct or assault or any of that other stuff. Been accused of manipulating cryptocurrency market. The dude has been trying to manipulate the market with Dogecoin, a joke coin. Musk company Neuralink was accused of animal cruelty. I can't disagree with this. When I wrote the story for 11 Kingdoms, yes, animals were being tested with Neuralink. It is not something that was pleasant, but it was the way to advance technology that would help with losing limbs and damaged humans that have neuro damage. That's the concept. And you don't test on humans first. People have alleged relationship that his relationship with Grimes was abusive. I have no idea about the whole Grimes situation. Compared Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to Adolf Hitler. If you haven't read the news lately, Trudeau is very Hitlerian in his actions. I will not compare him to Hitler, but literally locking people away for freedom of speech is a bad thing. And Trudeau is doing that. So, yeah. Musk is a close friend to a controversial rapper, Kanye West. I mean, Kanye's insane. We all know it these days. He's made transphobic comments. He has a trans daughter. I don't know the full situation. I know he's come out and he says he doesn't like trans, that his child is trans. He doesn't agree with it, and he feels that, in a way, he lost his child. I can say from experience, when someone transitions or someone comes out, the reaction of the family, and I kind of wrote about this years ago when I was doing Path of the Butterflies, which was a literally guide of transitioning. Parents, loved ones, family members, and such will go through a period of basically feeling the person they knew died. Now, depending on where you fall on, you know, your actions as a trans community, or who you are as a trans person, and how sensitive you are to subjects, that's beside the point. It's not easy for a family member to come to accept that, because basically you're telling them that every point, let me use a blank page for this to explain. So this line is a normal person's lifespan. You're telling people who've watched this line go forth that they're wrong, that something was different, the line goes another way. And human brains don't accept that. It's not saying beliefs are wrong or whatnot. You're still that line. I don't care how you transition, you're that line. But the perspective is your line goes like that to people on the outside, because you can't change the perspective of outsiders of your life. And the more you live your life, the more you portray yourself, it's how you get accepted. I literally was talking about this with a coworker today. I said a lot of how one gets accepted as a trans person in these days, even when there are people are like, oh, they don't exist, oh, this. I mean, that's a matter of opinion. That's fine. It's their opinion against your opinion, and opinions are gonna clash naturally. But it's forcing someone else's viewpoint to change is not something you can do. I don't care how charismatic, how convincing you are in this world. You can never fully change someone's mindset. Even in cult situations, the mindset doesn't 100% change. And I'll use a different example. Let's use the example of the current singer for Linkin Park. I want to get her name properly. So if you haven't heard, Linkin Park came out with a new album and a new singer because their last singer died by their own hand. And it was sad. He was a great singer and whatnot. I'm not. All right. So from Zero, from the album From Zero, their new singer is vocalist Emily Armstrong is the co-vocalist. So Emily Armstrong's come in. They have a great hit and Heavy as the Crown, but they have another song. And that other song is not Heavy. Where? Let me look on my phone because I literally have it, and it's one of my rotation music that I've been listening to a lot lately. Zero. Emptiness Machine. Okay. Emptiness Machine is about Emily's time with the Scientologists. Scientology, I'm going to just blatantly say, I don't care if Scientologists attack me. Oh, no. They're a cult. They are 100% a cult. If you're a Scientologist, I don't care to call you out as a cult. You were created by a science fiction writer. Your religion is fake. 100% a science fiction novel, and the man created a cult. You are a cult member. Accept that. I'm not saying there aren't other religions that are that way. Everybody can come up to their own mindsets of how they feel other religions are cult, but I will say Scientologists are a cult, because if you believe in Zemu and all that fun stuff, and if you don't believe me, you don't have to believe me, just watch an episode of South Park on the subject that reveals what Scientologists is actually about, because it's 100% real and people have stated that. But yeah, Emptiness the Machine is literally about her time as a Scientologist, and it's a great song, and it's literally about this is a cult. Basically, they're calling it out as a cult, and it is a cult. I don't care. Like I said, Scientologists, come at me, bro. Come on, bro. You want to sue me? I ain't got much. Come on. I have a freedom of speech, and I guarantee you I will hold you to that in court. So, so yeah, I wasn't expecting to go this route, but yes, with the subject, you put yourself in a mindset of a cult on anything. I mean, you could be. We're literally talking about vitriolic fans at the beginning. All vitriolic fans are a cult of a personality, or of a persona. Again, I said, while Kai has his, I don't doubt there are some on Ironmouse's side. I don't doubt there are some on Connor's side. And I wouldn't put myself, be objected to put myself in those followings. I like their what they release. I watch it, although I don't watch or listen to Crash Taste much these days, simply because I just don't have the time, and most of their stuff has been lately, oh, let's try this food thing, and it's like, or I just don't have the time in the week to get to it. I really don't. But, everybody has a concept of cultism. It really is. I mean, politics is a cult of sorts. We choose our side, we get culturistic with it, and then we get the world shattered come whenever it is time for you to vote. In our case, here in the US, that time is November 5th. Well, the first Tuesday in November is our thing. It's not always November 5th. But yeah, it's. I've watched one side after another pick at each other and go into cult-like behavior. We're seeing that very much with people that followed MSNBC, CBS, or CNN, or any of the mainstream media of late, coming to realization that they lied for years. And when people were telling them, hey, your sources are not correct, and people would even provide actual sources, they'd be like, oh, no. And they would display a cult-like personality. And I feel that people on the right felt this a lot when Obama won his second term, more so than he won his first. I can remember Obama's first election. A lot of people were like, he's got it. We kind of knew it was going to happen. But the second, a lot of people were like, maybe the world's woken up to, what Obama's been doing. And they're like, oh no, he's cult. I won't say that there aren't Trump supporters that are very cult-like. I don't agree with some of the stuff, particularly a lot of takes of how people treat trans people through all of Trump's support. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, but at the same time, you come to understand you need to vote. Eventually, you'll grow up and learn that you need to vote based off of what you feel needs to be done in the world and improved. And if you're not seeing that, vote for the change the next time around. I mean, it's literally it. I'm on stream tomorrow night with my friends Septum Sen versus the World, Amabuki Jake, and we'll be doing an anime review. I don't agree with him politically, but the three of us have sat at a table multiple times over the past several years. And we said, yeah, we don't agree with politics, but we're friends. We don't care. And the same when it comes to our choices in anime. I mean, they know I have my tastes versus their tastes. I'm gonna like some stuff that they don't. They're gonna like some stuff I don't. I'm literally on the show more as a expert in art and animation. When we do reviews, tomorrow night we'll be doing Kumakori of the Iron Fortress TV series. We're not doing the movie. I haven't watched the movie. I might watch the movie before tomorrow night's stream. But yeah. Never really watched it before. Gave it a shot. Basically steampunk zombies, if you've never seen the series. It is from Studio Wix, and very much is, you can see it's a cash grab of, we had Attack on Titan for 2 great seasons, because I can't say the 3rd season for them because it came out before the 3rd season. You're like, we had 2 good seasons of Attack on Titan, but we don't have the rights to the actual we don't have full rights. So let's make an original series that's like Attack on Titan, but our own series. What's different than Titans? Zombies! How about we do a steampunk zombies? That's literally the concept you can see in the make of that. And they're a lot. I mean, the opening alone is beat for beat an Attack on Titan opening. You cannot tell me they weren't in the shop and like, it worked for Attack on Titan, let's do it for this opening. It's absurd to think no, they were going to do something different. They knew what they had that worked, and they were going to continue to do it. But at the same time, it does have a bit of different feel. But it really is Attack on Titan, and I'm going to call it out tomorrow night. I really am. It's like, this is just them trying to make their own Attack on Titan. It's literally the meme of, oh no, we have the Attack on Titan at home. Man. But what's worse is Wix it was the ones making Attack on Titan. So it's like, no, we made a successful show. Let's make it again. So it's messed up like that. It really is. I still do hold to it. If those watching, those that are new, let me know about the voice. I've always been curious about that. I've been trying to get the non-biasness of the voice. If I should do the voice changer or not. Or the streams or not. I don't know what I'm playing Friday. Part of me says, hell with it, we're gonna do Hogwarts Legacy until New Year. We'll just play Hogwarts Legacy, which we haven't done yet on stream. I started it, or I did a test playthrough for Patreon for about an hour. And also, I'm going to be changing my Patreon come New Year. I really am. The whole issue with, and I'll call out the comic. The comic's called The Bet. If you go on my DeviantArt page, you read The Bet. It's a Digimon masking comic because I had a lot of people who were into masking. If you don't know what masking is, don't look for it. I was never into it, and I kind of got roped into it by other people. And I was, I still stand by it. If people are into it, do you. I mean, that's fine. If you're into it, do you. It's not my ball of wax. And the problem being is people kept assuming it was and kept asking me for more and more comics based off of it. And I didn't like doing it. And it got to the point where people are like, oh, well, only reason I'm here is because of the masking comics. I'm like, dude, I have my own comic series. I have my own novel. Why are you just gonna follow me for this crappy trash that I do literally for a fast buck? And literally, that is what it was. It was me doing stuff for a fast buck. And I don't fully object to doing stuff, and I'm going to try and finish up some of the stuff that I felt was more interesting. The reason I didn't like the bet, and the reason why I posted on there, aside from the creator or the person doing the request never telling me where the story was going to go next, which is the one thing people keep ignoring. It's, hey, I have another page to do. You're going to tell me what you want done next. And we never got there. So that was the number one reason it stopped. Is I didn't know where it was going. and this comic went back and forth. It used Digimon Trainers characters. So we had all the characters from Digimon Trainers laid out, going into Digimon suits, and it had this mind warp, screw around stuff that was disturbing me. It was absolutely disturbing me as a creator. And I was doing it because I was getting paid to do it, and I was like, okay. But once they stopped telling me what they wanted in the series, I kind of been like, look, I'm not interested in continuing this series. I now hate Digimon Tamers, which was by far the best Digimon. And I hate Renamon, who's the one that I liked the most when I watched Digimon. I hate a character because somebody else asked me to draw a comic. That is just disturbing to me. But it's because they basically turn Renamon into this psychopathic mind warp thing. And then constantly tried to make them seem like they were in the right. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And I literally had to fight with them about, maybe don't be this sadistic in this point. Maybe give them, a sense of hope. Because I'd be getting comments from people and be like, this is disturbing. And I was like, yeah, I'm the person drawing this, and I find this disturbing. Now, there's a Mind Warp one with, Sword Art Online that I'm also doing at the same time. Night of the Monsters. It's based off of a fan fiction somebody had already wrote that was well beloved. And I was like, okay, I'll draw it. I have no problem drawing it. I appreciate it a little bit more because it's like, no, it's not actually the girls from the series doing this to, screw with people, but it's more a matter of, it's like an alien invasion taking over, and they're taking over on Halloween, and they're using all this other stuff, and it gave me a chance to be unique with the designs, but trying to keep them at the same time a little recognizable to their original design. So I was like, okay, that's enjoyable. And then I had a couple other series that people asked get done, and that I'm going to continue. Magical Princess War has nothing to do with masking. I love it. People love it. It's a crossover of countless series, both American and Japanese. And it's literally a war between magical princesses, and was honestly started by Septum Sen, asking me to do a submission through my sponsorship of having My Little Pony fight with Star versus the Forces of Evil against Sailor Moon. And I turned that into a comic idea, and then I ran with it. And it is now a fan comic. I don't know if I'll ever release it in another platform than DeviantArt, because it's kind of hard to put out fan comics elsewhere. But it's a good way to be humorous and at the same time tell a good story. And that's what I did. And I still do it, and I'm doing it more. I mean, where is it? There it is right there. We started talking about, hey, the next page is going to introduce Ganon into the situation. Because better to go after a magical princess than the man who's been doing it for years. So, yeah. And it's a good foil chapter is what we're on anyway. The whole people are already complaining about how I took and made Star and upset and her power is weak and whatnot, and people are like, that's not the way Stars is. It's like, dude, it's a story. You gotta have a down point in a heroic story for the characters to build up from. If you don't, you're not making it interesting. Just making it heroes that go after the villain and always succeed. And considering our villains are this evil organization called Jello, because I messed with algorithms, or what it was synonyms of characters' names. I mean, that's a good way to have fun. But I mean, it brings in so many universes in that story, and it's enjoyable. I had another one that is going to have some runs as well that we've been doing, and it's more sort of my own story. I'm as a One Piece fan. One of the Masking fans asked me, he's like, could you do Luffy disguising as Nami? I said, I'm going to do one better. I'm going to do that, but it's going to be a full comic story. And it's going to be like, what would be Nami's proper reaction to Luffy doing this crap? Because he's mimicked other members of the crew throughout in the series. He's just not done it to the female crew members. But he knows that if he did do it to Nami, she'd probably kill him. So I wrote One Piece Days at Sea, or Days at Sea, which is, the concept is, it's the time in between going to islands and Luffy's being stupid and greedy to get in the fridge and trick Sanji. And so he disguises himself as Nami and causes chaos all around because it's Luffy being an idiot. Luffy in charge of There's a reason Nami is the one in charge on the ship. And the reason is everyone else is an idiot. With the exception of maybe Jinbei and Robin. Everyone else is a freaking idiot. So I put that on there. I'm like, I did the joke of the boxers and briefs, harking back to the old Bill Clinton question during his presidential run, and had Luffy answer that to Brooke by literally pulling out a pair of boxers and giving it to him. Because Brooke asks, may I see your panty? I mean, it's a dumb joke. And that's what you gotta do. You gotta be willing to tell the dumb joke sometimes. It's the way to go in this world. Oh, I see where I've made a big mistake, didn't I? Let's see. Okay, no, I didn't make a big mistake. For a second there, I thought I drew on the same panel as my borders. Okay. I think we might go no matter what people vote, we'll do this probably from now on with Stardew Sundays, because that way I can do as many of the voices without the high pitch of the voice changer, which, yes, many people have recognized. Yes, it's just me putting pitch in there. But I can, like I said, do a more feminine voice. A little bit better if I do a soft voice. But, it's just a matter of just playing with things. So yeah, if you're gonna tune in for our gaming streams the next couple weeks, I think it's just gonna be Harry Potter, except for, of course, on Stardew Sundays, which is what we started recently. Because we had literally 2 years ago, we got rated as one of the top streamers of Stardew, and I don't understand how. There are far bigger streamers that do it, but we've always had sort of a following of people watching our Stardew streams, so mind you, we're doing 240 mods right now in Stardew. We have almost 200 characters in Stardew versus the, I think, 80 that it originally has. I laugh, but it's true. It's true. I put that many characters into the game. I know I just screwed up there somewhere on the legs. But Armand wears a white suit. Oh. Alright, let me tell you his full name. Nope, not there. He gave it on a different page. Okay. Gave it on the page that dropped earlier. Oh. Yeah, I gotta bring those down then, I guess. But yeah. Let's cover to the end of this subject for talk today. I do want to thank everybody for joining in today, because it's whenever we do more serious subject, I always go voice off. One of our most watched videos videos is part 1 of the Ava Tyson stream, and that's when we started doing the seriousness. But we also did it during the Rama, which after they do the end or the pause of this season, I don't know if they'll do a second season, but they might. After they pause the remake, I will give a full review and discuss the issues. I know other people have been discussing them, but we'll talk about them later. Thank you for the subscribing. Midnight 7422. Yeah. So we'll talk about that. Hey, I don't remember which Dining and Doodles we have this week. But yeah, we'll do Hogwarts Legacy Friday, and Stardew Valley Sunday, of course, will be on Sunday afternoon. But I'm not going to talk about Linkin Park. We brought that up for a reason. So, a lot of people are hurt, of course, by the election. A lot of people got hurt in the past election. And therapist is suggesting, and I kind of wanted to bring this up because we're going into Thanksgiving. Literally 2 days. It's going to be Thanksgiving here in the United States. And a therapist is suggesting that separate yourself from your family Thanksgiving. And here's the problem. The creation of Thanksgiving was to bring together people from their differences. The reason Thanksgiving is continued celebrated is to bring together people from their differences. So, if you separate, you're not doing what Thanksgiving is intended to do. Basically, yeah, I understand as an LGBT member that had some family issues. When I came out, my brother is on the gay spectrum and got a husband and now is raising their nephew in a very red state. And I'm in a very purple state. Well, very blue / purple. But my family's very red. And I'm a constitutionalist. That is my political standing. That is how I approach most things. And it's not a political party. It's a way to look at who's in the right and who's in the wrong. There are times I'm going to disagree with Republicans. There are times I'm going to disagree with the Democrats. It doesn't matter. I follow by what is in the law. Have there been times I've walked away from my family since I came out? Yes. Have I not been invited to the family table for Thanksgiving? Yes. This year I am invited. This year I am going. But at no point do I hold that against my family. At no point should I hold that against my family. The best way to come to an agreement of coexistence in a family is to not pull at the strings of each other. If you have a problem with how your family voted and you don't want to go to Thanksgiving this year because you feel it'll all be that, lay down rules. Go to Thanksgiving like, I disagree with you these points, but I aren't going to agree. Here are some rules. Let's play by these rules. We will not discuss politics, not hatred to each other. We are here as a family to enjoy the meal and be thankful for what we have. That's what it comes down to. One of the Thanksgivings I wasn't with my family were the last two Thanksgivings, honestly. One was because my family was with a family member, but joining with others that may have issues with me because I'm trans, but they were not family. They were outside people. Understandable. I ended up having Thanksgiving myself because I got a little bit sick. Anyway, I was going to have it with an aunt, but she had to get out and do other stuff in her own time. So she had issues and couldn't do it. The Thanksgiving before that, I was homeless. And we were tense between family because I put myself in the homeless situation when I had a health issue. Most people would be like, oh, well, that's that right. I was struggling to find work, but at the same time, I kind of put myself in debt because I didn't strive hard enough, I guess. I don't know. I feel it was luck, but it's up for debate. But I went to the homeless shelter to have, homeless event in my city to get food. And I literally told my family, and I've told people since, I have never seen more greed than in going in that place for a hot meal. That's it. Because they were giving away free stuff, and it was open to homeless people and people who couldn't, cook a meal themselves. And that was never a problem for me. I can always cook a meal myself. But it was a matter of, do I have the facilities to cook them by myself? And in that case, it wasn't. I mean, I was living out of my car. There's no way to heat up food in my car. Peter Racer, thank you for the follow. yeah, it was a hard point. And I went in there and I was like, okay, all I need is the hot food, maybe a little bit if they've got some extra food that I can put in the car, like canned goods. Sure, that'll help me out. Maybe a blanket. That's what I got. Other people saw free stuff, and mind you, there was a limit of 5 items per table for people to get. People were like, no, I need 10, I need 15, I need all this stuff. Dude, there's hundreds of people at this event. Take what they limit and take it gracefully. I did. I took it. These days I can't eat most of what they served because I have gastroparesis and other health stuff that make it hard for my stomach to digest food. I can eat the turkey. That's good. And I can eat the ham. That's what they had. But I mean, they also had like beans and all this other stuff. I love it. I love that stuff. I can't eat it nowadays. It'll kill me. Not literally, but it'll make me feel like I'm dying. It'll make me wish I was dying at times because I'll be in so much pain. But yeah, I saw so much greed at that point. I was like, look, I'm homeless. I'm living in my car. And I can see the greed on these people. And that disturbed me more than sitting at a table with somebody who's going to call me, evil or call me disgusting for being trans. That's someone's personal opinion versus people who are actually being greedy when an open hand is given. I want to say evil, but it's wrong. It's wrong. If you do that, if you have to go to a homeless shelter or a kitchen because you're having a hard time, very understandable these days. A lot of people can't afford Thanksgiving this year. I think I heard today it's like if you went with the normal Thanksgiving meal, it's like $200 these days. As someone who lives off of just pretty much meat and sometimes potatoes and rice, it's not that big of a deal for me. But I can understand. It's turkey last year was like $12 a pound, and I think it's gone up $2 since. Not pretty. And normally you're buying a 16-pound bird, and that bird is probably going to be about 2 pounds of bones. And unless you're going to make a soup, stock, or season something with those bones, then you're wasting $24 on turkey bone right there. So yeah, don't be hating or causing vitriol when there's other things. There's worse things to be vitriolic, or there's things to actually be upset and pissed. In my mindset right now, waste, especially government waste, is a bigger thing to hate. Because that's your money, that's my money. Tax dollars is your money. It's not coming from somewhere else magically. It doesn't exist. That's your money. And if the government's being wasteful of it, it's literally the greed concept again. Like I said, of seeing people being greedy for handouts. The government being reckless with spending is them being greedy with your money. And then demanding you pay more. And they raise that tax. And both sides do it. And overall, I mean, if nothing else comes from a lesson in this story, the same lesson we give every time we do a drivel draw. Be the best you that you can be. Don't hate for no reason, but being the best you can be it means if the best thing I can do today is get up and pee in a toilet and not in the bed, then you're being the best you. I'd suggest you be a little bit more. But I mean, if that's the best you can pull off, if you are that broken, that destroyed in life, then, you know, make that your goal. Take that, celebrate it, and then strive to be better the next day. Strive to be a better person in general, of yourself. Don't be hating on people because they're doing better than you. To wrap it all around as to what it was. Yeah, don't hate on other people's success. Work on your own success. Yes, you will fail. We all fail. I have been homeless twice in my life. And it's been because I have failed at times. Some of it under my power, some of it not under my power, and I can't blame families for it. Very much my nerve damage may be traced to the COVID vaccine, because I got the vaccine, then the next day my nerve damage hit. So it's possible. I don't know. I know I have an allergy to the vaccine, so I can't keep taking the vaccine. I'll flip it back and forth between the drawing. But I mean, that's my own personal experience. I mean, some people swear by the vaccine and want to get more dosages of it, and that's fine. That's fine. But the fact of the matter is people like me in 2020, you know, there was the threat of termination with the vaccine if you didn't take the vaccine. I mean, I took the vaccine, I got sick with the nerve damage. I couldn't keep doing my job, which was very physically labor. My employer, lucky enough, was like, yeah, we can't have you lifting 75 pounds of weight if you can't physically walk. You know, that's a slight problem. So they rightfully, you know, helped me terminate my employment. And I was supposed to get rewarded unemployment for still fighting on it. It's supposedly been approved, but the unemployment office of my state has yet to pay. Despite my employer and me stating, yes, I am due this money, and they've approved it. They still say, oh, we don't have the money to pay you yet. It's like, seriously? And since I've gotten a job, I have a full-time job. I'm hoping to get promoted in that job. I'm working hard to keep that job. And I work on this on the side. And we do the streaming, we do the comics, I do some writing on the side. I exercise to try and get better shape, improve my health as best I can, and I try to eat better with what I can stomach. And that's how I can improve myself. I mean, it's I improving myself. So go out there, be the better you that you can be. Enjoy life. Find something to be happy about. And as always, have a wonderful evening, a wonderful week, and a wonderful year. Good night, everybody.
Lights go down, streams end. Thanks for time we spend. Laughs and I